Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Eric Brown, your Beverly Hills real estate agent, bringing you the best of LA, where I share cool local businesses and entrepreneurs and how you can connect with them here in the Los Angeles Hills area and Beverly Hills. So I wanted to introduce you to a cool new friend of mine, Marilyn Anderson, who amongst many hats that she has worn in being a comedian, being a writer, being in production, being in film, we're going to focus a little bit today on some of her writing. So Marilyn, with that, I'll let you take it away and let's talk about this big project that you have completed.
Oh, thanks so much. Well, I've written a few books, as you can see, some of them are on the wall, but I am talking today about how to live like a millionaire when you're a million short. And that's a book that I wrote. And I also do a one-woman show based on it. And I give talks to organizations on how to live like a millionaire when you're a million short. And the interesting thing is even millionaires love it because they like to save money too. And I tell them about all kinds of ways to save thousands of dollars every year while enjoying your life more. So it's a lot of fun and it's you save money and you have fun. What else could be good?
So I'm always curious, what was the origination of the idea for the book?
Well, it's so funny. Like I have a lot of friends who had regular jobs and regular paychecks, and they never did anything fun. They never traveled, they never bought things, they didn't go out to eat or go to theater. And as a writer, sometimes you might make a chunk of money, but other times you could go weeks or months or a year, even years without making money. And people used to always say to me, because I would travel and I would buy clothes and everything, they would always say, "How does Marilyn live?" In fact, the three questions of the universe were, what is the meaning of life? Is there a God? And how does Marilyn live? So I decided I would reveal my secrets, and that's when I wrote the book.
That's great. So without giving away some of the secret sauce, what might be something that a reader would be able to glean from your book?
Well, I have different categories. I have ways to save, as I said, thousands of dollars in entertainment, in shopping, in fashion, in travel, in, fixing up your house. If you've just got a new house, you want to put things in it, but maybe you want to save some money because you've bought a house. So I tell people all kinds of ways to do this. For instance, one of the things I tell them is how to see Broadway shows, or if they come to LA or wherever you live, for only $4 or $5 a ticket. And that's pretty amazing when you think when these shows come, you could spend $100 per ticket. That's $200 plus you go out to dinner, whatever. So I tell them how to do that. One of my favorite travel tips, the travel season is getting really big now, is how to spend 6 nights at a four-star resort in Spain for free. And it's all my tips are win-win. They're all on the up and up. It's no sneaking in, it's no scams. It's just great ways to do things at amazing prices, or a lot of the times free.
I love it. And it's interesting, you've also segued this into speaking. And so talk a little bit about your speaking engagements.
Yes, well, I've done speaks. They're sort of like TED Talks, or I also do a one-woman show every year at the Santa Monica Playhouse, and it's based on the book. And I give tons of information. Plus, because I'm a comedy writer, I have a lot of laughs in it too. So people can really get a lot of information, but also have a great time. And so I have spoken with financial organizations and women's groups and, at local synagogues or churches or wherever people want to like have a great evening or afternoon event and get lots of information and have laughs and have a good time. And afterwards, if they want, they can buy the book.
I love it. I love it. That's great. And you are, refresh me, I think I know the answer already, but are or are not a Los Angeles native?
No, I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from the East Coast.
Okay.
I grew up in Philadelphia, and then I went to graduate school in Boston, and I lived in Washington, D.C., and then I went to New York. Actually, I have a couple degrees in biology and physiology. But one day I said, I don't want to do this. I want to be a star. So I quit my job, sold my car, sold my furniture, sold my boyfriend, didn't get much for him. And I moved to New York to become a star. And I got into a Broadway show. And I came out here for vacation and never went back. And just started writing here.
That's
And I've been
pretty,
writing for TV and film a lot as well. So,
that's pretty amazing. And, you know, I'm probably one of the first to admit, also being a transplant myself, coming from the Midwest, that Los Angeles, like the East Coast, is not inexpensive. Like it's a expensive place to live. So
it,
trying to make it, it's nice to be able to have a tip or two.
oh, yes. And as I said, I have a lot of people, friends who are very wealthy, and they call me every time they're going to go somewhere because they say, "Oh, Marilyn, I want to go. How can I do this at a great rate?" And I say, "Page 59 in the book tells you everything."
I love it. That's awesome. And you're right. What a great stocking stuffer. Like what a great gift to be able to give for closings for a variety of businesses. I
Yes, and yeah, and what I wanted to do actually for some businesses, I do customized covers, so it can say compliments of your company, and then it becomes very personal to your clients as well.
I love it. That's great. Are there things that you're seeing as you've gone on this journey? And how, from when you first thought about the idea to when you wrote the book, what was the timeline there?
Well, I've been living this way for a few decades, I must admit. But I always learn new things, and um, new things are popping up all the time, and that's what's so fun. I just I discovered some new things this year that when I did my one woman show, some people come over and over and over because, people hear the idea, but then they forget about it. And then they are reminded of it again. So I added some of the new things that are pretty amazing. And that when I learned about it. And in fact, when I was, during the pandemic, everybody was stuck at home. And, some people got bored and some people couldn't do things. Well, so many new things popped up during the pandemic that either didn't weren't available before, or you didn't know, or were available but you didn't know about it. For instance, I tell people how you can go to Harvard or Yale for free, and that is there's three websites: classcentral.com, edx.org, and Coursera.org, where universities from all over the country, including Yale, Harvard, all the Ivy League schools, give free classes in all kinds of things, from philosophy and religion to IT. And I have a friend who took a class in happiness at Yale. And so there are all kinds of things that I learned during the pandemic that you can do when you're at home, and they don't cost anything, and they also enrich your life. That's the point. I also have, you heard of rules to live by? Well, I have rules to live like a millionaire by. And the first one is ask. I say make an ask of yourself. And I have told everybody there's so many ways that just by asking you can save thousands of dollars. That's the first rule. And the main rule, which goes with what you said, which is one of the last rules, is no matter what you're doing, enjoy the moment, enjoy your life, because whether you're spending money or not spending anything, you got to have a good time. And I think if the pandemic taught us anything, that's one thing that it taught. We never know what's around the corner. So that's what I do. I try to give all kinds of ways that you can enjoy your life, but keep the budget as low as possible so that you can use it on other things like buying one of your houses.
I love that. I think it's great perspective. You know, since you had mentioned that you've been doing this also as a lifestyle, has there been evolutions or changes or trends that you've seen over the course of those years?
Well, yes, of course, a lot has come on the internet that didn't used to be there. And, again, during the pandemic, I have very long, thick hair. I have thick hair and thin legs, better than the reverse. But I didn't know what I was going to do, because usually what I would do to get my hair done, it could cost like $200 at a Beverly Hills salon, or $300. And, to get that every 3 weeks, you're spending thousands of dollars. But I go as a hair model. And there's a lot of salons, some of them in Beverly Hills too, where you can either go for free to get a haircut and style, or if you're getting color, you might pay a low fee, like $40, and you get everything. And it costs $40 instead of $200 or $300, which is great. But during the pandemic, of course, I couldn't do that. So during the pandemic, I went to YouTube and learned how to cut my own hair. And when I go to a salon, it might take, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. At home now, because I looked at YouTube, I can do it in 5 minutes and I get perfect layers. So there was a lot to be learned then. Also, of course, people know about Groupons and Living Social, and there's restaurant.com. And those give you the opportunity not just to save money, but to try new places and to broaden your horizons. And I always say, keep open to all the possibilities, because there are so many things that are possible that you don't think about. And the other one is carpe diem. When something happens, know that it's time to go for it. So that's how I like to live my life. And the trends, of course, have to do with the internet and more things. And Zoom, of course, is a big thing that happened on the internet. And that's fantastic, because now when you have meetings and things, you don't have to travel, and people from all over the world can tune in and see you. And the same thing, I say, if you want to travel, but you're not going to go to every place in the world, there's all kinds of museums online. There's the Louvre, there's places in Amsterdam, and you can go to the Antarctica, and you don't have to go away. I like to have an Italian party where I'll serve Italian food, and then we'll go online and visit Italy, and it can be fun. And you don't have to schlep on the airlines for all that time. Not to say don't do your trips, because my favorite travel tip is how to spend 6 nights at a 4-star resort in Spain for free.
Amazing.
So yeah, and it's a wonderful trip. I have a girlfriend who went on it, and she said there were people there that went 15 times because it was so wonderful. So there's all kinds of things, and I love sharing them with people. And it's wonderful to have a book, but for me, when I do speaking engagements, I love it because I get to meet the people. And even when I'm writing TV and film, you write a script, and it might not get on TV for not even months, but years. I've had 2 movies produced, and they each took 20 years to get made. But when you do an in-person event, you get immediate gratification, and I get to meet all the people, and it's wonderful to have them laugh and to come up to me and say, "Oh, I love these ideas. Thank you." So, oh, and I do have an assignment for anybody who's watching. And this is everybody that's watching should go immediately when this is over to a website called missingmoney.com. Missingmoney.com is a place for unclaimed property. Now, it's not the same kind of property as a house, but it is money that is just sitting there and waiting for you. And I had a friend, I saw his name, and I said, go to this website. He said, no, it's a scam. I said, please. Well, he ended up, at my insistence, filling out the form. It took 2 minutes. It cost nothing. He got a check in the mail for $12,000, and it was his money. And people don't know about it, or they forget about it. And you can look not just for yourself, but for your parents, for your grandparents. Some people have found as much as $200,000 there. The first time I went, I got like $450. And then a month later, I saw, oh, I've got more money. And I had like 22 cents. But everybody should check it out for their families and siblings and whatever. And that's missingmoney.com. That's also one of my favorite tips.
I love it. Well, for those of you that are interested in learning about ways to live like a millionaire when you're $1 million short, or to look to book Marilyn in speaking, either for your business or your organization or your charity or what have you, we're going to include all of Marilyn's contact information here on screen so you can touch base anytime. Marilyn, I always love to ask, as kind of a wrap up, and you had shared so many great nuggets here for the viewers that are watching. Is there any last thing that you'd like to share, a tip, an idea, something from the book, anything that you think that the viewer should know?
Well, I think, as I said, we all have to enjoy life. And that's the most important thing I can say to anybody is, do things that give you joy, and do it with your friends and your family, and live, even if you have $1 million, live like a millionaire, even if you're $1 million short.
I love it. I love it. That is a great tip. Marilyn, thanks so much for sharing your time with me today and with the audience that gets to watch this. I'm so happy, and we're filled with great ideas.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much. It was really fun to be here, and I hope I'll meet some of your and in person soon.
That would be great. As always, folks, thanks for tuning in. This is Eric Brown, your Beverly Hills real estate agent, bringing you the best of LA, where we get to meet cool entrepreneurs and businesses just like Marilyn and learn more about what they are sharing with us as a general audience here in the Los Angeles area. Until the next time we get to chat, this is Marilyn and Eric signing off.